Yo, everyone,
Hey,
welcome,
everyone.
welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the first episode of State of Dev.
Are we in sync? Are we in sync, chat? You know, the band.
The band. No, we should be in sync. I think.
So yeah, what now? What now? What do we do?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll just end it here.
Yeah, I think we've had our fun. Anyway, chat, how's the audio? Is it synced up this time?
They're gonna be mad if it's synced up.
Yeah.
Uh, they're saying something's wrong.
Again, wait, what is it now? Our voices are the wrong way around? What?
Oh my god, how is that even possible?
Wait, let me check. One sec.
Hello, testing, testing. Hello, is it working now?
How about now? Testing,
Is it
testing,
hello, testing,
testing.
hello, testing, hello?
Hello, testing. Is it working?
Is it working?
Hello?
Muted.
It's fine now. Oh, good. We fixed it.
Cool,
Good.
Nice. That was a weird issue.
Excellent.
I don't know what's up
That
with
was strange.
Yeah,
I've never.
what?
How's that even possible? I've never seen that
I don't
before.
know. I don't know. It's crazy.
That is weird. That is very weird.
Is
Yeah.
it? Oh, it is better. Okay, cool. Slightly better.
Okay.
Slightly
Good.
better.
Good. Good.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, at least we weren't muted.
Yeah.
You know? At least
True.
we weren't
True. We've
muted.
upgraded.
That's true. That's true.
How's it going, everyone?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Howdy, partners. Okay. First interesting thing. Yeah. So off the bat, I guess the first thing we can maybe talk about is that, bear with us. This is the first show, and we've done a lot of preparation. And over the past couple days, everything has gone wrong. And in fact, up until 13 minutes ago, we were fixing bugs in the code. So please bear with us.
There's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes for this to roll. Maybe we're a bit ambitious with this, but it's like this is the thing that's gonna I think equalize over time. We probably won't get everything done immediately. Everything won't be perfect the first time around, but bear with us. It's gonna
It's a process. It's a process.
exactly.
Yeah. So one thing that immediately that we've seen is now that we've combined our chats, it looks like our little chat widgets here, they're the same chat. Well, sort of, right? Because there's different alerts, right? So you get follow. Yeah, who knows?
True.
We'll have to figure it out. The other thing to address real quick is thank you so much for the subs from Tommy, 5 to each of us right now, which is
nice. Thank
insane. However,
Wow.
because of the way we're not really sure if we're gonna sort of react to all the subs and stuff like that in real time, or if we should do it later. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. This is something that we also want to try and figure out. Maybe we'll do a thing at the start or at the end of the stream or something like that where we acknowledge this, because we kind of want to keep the show rolling, especially since we're going to upload this to YouTube afterwards. It's no fun if there's a bunch of us just going thanks, but we do appreciate everyone supporting us and doing
Of
all
course.
this. Yeah.
It's something that we've talked about a little bit because we're we don't want to just not say
Exactly,
cute to
exactly.
that kind of stuff. It's insane, right?
Yeah.
I think both of us are usually pretty good about comment. See, I see this.
Goodness.
What do we do, man?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. Maybe this is just the start of maybe there's people get tired of all the generosity they have in their body,
True. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for the gifted subs.
Yeah.
Thank you for the regular subs. Thanks for the follows, all that kind of stuff. Maybe we can go over towards the end. So one thing that we're thinking is agenda-wise, we'll have things that we want to talk about and stuff. And one thing that we want to do is have a chat on chat.
Sorry, just tuning something down here. All right.
The subs broke the audio.
Muted? No audio? No, please. You assholes. If actually there are issues and you're just trolling us right now.
Yeah, now is not a good time. Yeah.
I see the meters
let's
moving
see.
though.
Yeah. I think should I drop my quality? What do you think?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah? Okay. Jace, audio died? Back?
Wait, did it?
Let me check. Ba, 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 ba. No, I can hear me. It's back.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, geez, I don't really know what to do,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna have a section at the end where we'll talk to chat a little bit more. Maybe even at that point we can go through all the subs or something and
Yeah, we're gonna
thank
try and
people
figure
or
something
whatever.
out in the future or now or whatever. Like we obviously appreciate everyone being here first and
Yeah.
foremost. So we need to just figure something out, and that's gonna be the theme for a lot of the stuff with this show is just figuring things out. We have a somewhat good idea of what we want to do with the show, but we have also like sort of like established that things are not going to be set today. Like we're going to figure things out as we go
Oh, yeah.
and probably change things for them to make sense, sort of. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second.
What else was
Yeah.
there? Oh yeah, so there's another thing is that like regular channel point redemptions each. Jesus, it's very hard to not be distracted by that. Regular channel point redemptions and sound effects and stuff like that probably won't be part of these streams because it's it's a different show. But yeah, did you want to say anything?
No,
there,
I
Sid?
appreciate saying it just keeps going. Oh my God. All right. Well, that's very kind of you all, especially 50 subs from Heroic Replicas. That's too kind, almost.
You know what? It is too
Yeah.
kind. Is it happening on whose
I see the
stream?
meters moving on both ends. So like,
Yeah.
stop muting the browser source, chat. Subs ironically broke audio. Do you have something on your end that could mute your side when you get the notification or something?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not. Getting
I've
sounds.
yet to witness it on the meters, so I'm not sure why.
Happens on the big sub drops.
Interesting.
Okay.
My computer just can't handle it. It ain't us.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel like it is you guys, since it seems to happen when there's subs dropping. No subs allowed. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not dropping packets. But I can see in my OBS sometimes that like our video starts lagging. So I think maybe like my PC's lagging. Because is it folks only on my stream?
I feel
that
like
are seeing
I feel like
issues, or-
people said it was both.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll roll with it.
Holy cow.
But it seems to come back.
Yeah. Okay. We'll
Right.
see. Okay.
Yeah, like we said, we're
Okay,
figuring
cool.
things out. You have no idea how much fucking technical work has gone into the setup that we have right now. It's it's crazy.
It is pretty
Yeah.
gnarly. Okay. One last kind of housekeeping thing that we wanted to talk about real quick is that we have a subreddit, folks. I'll paste it in the chat. reddit.com/r/state-of-dev. You can go there and you can post stuff there. So one thing that could be interesting is if you have any ideas of how we could handle like alerts or these kind of things, that could be cool. Or like subs and stuff, if we should do a section at the end just thanking people, or any suggestions or feedback could be good. But it could also be a great place that if there's certain things that you guys want us to see to potentially discuss or talk about, then that could be a nice place to put there as well. And then we can go and look there. So we don't have a shared Discord. We each have our own Discords. But like we're thinking maybe for the show, the subreddit is a good place, maybe.
Or if you wanted to like continue or finish a conversation that we've had, like if there's something that we discuss here that you want to keep iterating on or something like that, you can just drop a little post. I think it's called I've used the internet sometimes. Subreddit. Drop a post.
I have used it
Drop
before.
a like. Yeah. So feel free to share your feedback as well, and if there's anything, if you guys have any direction that you want us to take or something like that, we're very, like we said before, we're very open to sort of like adjust the show based on both how we feel and like what makes sense to us, but also what you guys are interested in hearing and talking about and blah 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 blah.
Yep. 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 Yepers. Happy to be here for
hey,
episode
Mason.
1. Happy to have you.
Good to see you, Mason.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we will. I keep wanting to skip to the next part all the time. But let's stay on script. Yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, I could do this. First of all,
Yep.
wait for it. Don't tell me the server broke.
What are you doing?
I'm pressing the button. Nothing's happening. Oh, the web server.
Where are you trying to go?
All right, whatever. Welcome everyone to the first episode. My name is Snutt. I'm a solo indie developer or solo game developer, I guess. If you don't know me, you might know Jace, and then just like, who's this asshole? I think a lot of people here maybe know both of us, but we'll just do a quick round of introductions anyways, just if anyone hasn't seen our faces before. So my name is Snutt. I'm a solo indie developer. I used to work at Coffee Stain together with this guy. We were both programmers turned community managers, and now I'm like Jace, doing sort of my own solo thing, working on my own game, which I haven't unveiled anything from yet, but I am working on it, I promise. And I'm also doing like a little bit of freelance stuff at the side, but I'm trying to focus on my game as much as I can. And I'm joined.
It's hard to find that balance, which is, I'm sure, something we will talk much about at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm Jace. If you don't know me, you probably know me from Snutt. So if you know him, you probably learn about me through him. Also, solo game dev. I left my job at Coffee Stain a couple years ago, and then I've been trying to make content creation and solo dev and all that kind of stuff work, basically. It's been a pretty interesting journey, but not only am I solo dev on my own game, I also work on another game called Among the Wild with a team part-time as as a community manager and also sort of like a writer, and I do some programming as well. So I'm a very mixed bag. Content creator, programming at a studio, and a solo developer all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's crazy how I was thinking about this the other day. By the way, finally got it working. Up in the right corner here. Doo-doo. Little overlay. It's been 2 years since you left Coffee Stain, which I'm like, where did that time go?
Yeah.
And I left January this year, and it feels like a lifetime ago for me as well. So time is, what's the phrase? Time makes something of us all. Time makes us all into shrimps.
Idiots of us all.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, time makes us all crabs, right? Everyone evolves into crabs eventually, right? Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, so we sort of touched on this before. We started doing this show, right? This is, I think ever since I told you that like I want to leave Coffee Stain or whatever, we've been discussing like, is there anything we can do together? Like, is there anything that we can create? I think we did a ton of content creation at Coffee Stain, and I feel like we sort of like found our own voices with content creation as well as we were learning that stuff, because we were in a pretty unique situation at Coffee Stain where we sort of were given this role. We were sort of growing into it as well.
Yes, certainly great, for sure. Yeah. Holy hell.
And ever since we were both free or whatever, we've been discussing like, what could we make? And then we sort of, you pitched this idea to me, and I was like, I had a similar idea actually. And then since like May, I think was when we started working on this. We've been working on this show concept, whatever. Like we said before, we're figuring things out. Obviously, technically, a lot of stuff is still, a lot of work still needs to be done. I will talk a little bit about the technical side of this too, because we have to, because otherwise you guys won't know how much of a
Yeah, you'll not understand what's going on right now.
But the general ambition of the show is just to talk about game dev, talk about our games. We used to have this segment on the dev stream that was called State of Dev. Don't sue Coffee Stain, please. Even though we came up with the idea, or the agenda thing, pattern, whatever. The idea is for us to have a chance to talk about our games, sort of give state of dev on our games, and discuss what it's like in our position. Obviously, there's a ton of content creators out there already, doing solo game dev and doing content about that stuff. But I haven't seen anything like this where like they do it live, they sit around and chat with chat.
It's also a bit of an excuse just to hang out with like each other and y'all as well, because the reality is there's going to be like, we're thinking it's going to be a weekly show, and the very first thing the two of us thought of was, okay, but like what if progress didn't go so great, or what if there's things that we can't really talk about with our game? What do we do with the show at that point? And so like I think that one of the things that we had in mind as well was, you know, we'll talk about stuff when we can and to whatever degree we can, but the show, we don't really like, it's just the excuse to get together and do stuff, right? But there's like, we don't want to be confined to only talking about our games because we don't have enough content for that, basically. So we'll talk about just other things, and maybe even just play games or talk about games or whatever, just whatever we want to do. And whatever y'all want to do. So,
or you know, if there's anything topical with game dev, I mean, unless it's too risky to talk about, I guess, or whatever. Or if we just don't feel about talking about it, that can be this sometimes. I feel like there's so much negativity sometimes in the game dev world, and I feel like, you know, I just want to spread positivity sometimes. I'm cringed like that.
Basically.
So like, yeah. But, you know, if there's stuff that's interesting to talk about, we'll talk about it. And, you know, maybe share a little bit of our perspective on it. But, you know, as with anything, it's always going to be like our perspective. It's never going to be like black or white or whatever.
Actually, it is going to be facts only from me.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah. I am the authority, it turns out.
It's going to be lies from me only. So it's going to be one of the, you know, the doors. You come to the doors like the guards, one tell the truth and the other one tells the lie. How do you navigate that?
Yeah.
That's going to be you guys chat. You're going to have to solve that riddle. One of us always lies and the other one always tells the truth.
Yeah, and you saw at the beginning of the stream, we could have either voices. Who knows?
Can't.
Actually, I could be him.
It's true too, because I say one of us always says the truth, but we could both lie, and then we could both lie about that. So
exactly. Yeah. When I say I'm the liar, am I lying or am I telling the truth? Now what? Your move, chat. Your move.
Yeah. Can never win. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I guess it's just today. I think will mostly be we just hang out and sort of like say hello a little bit. Because today we mostly, I mean, the things we have in our agenda today are mostly just like say hello, talk about our games as much as we can at the state of the art, like give somewhat of a presentation of our games to some degree. Mine will be really, really short. And Jace will probably also.
I mean, mine's going to be fairly short as well, but
we'll like in the future, the thing that I'm really looking forward to, like in the future, when we actually have like, you know, announced or presented what we're working on fully, and like we can do more open dev sort of thing, because I think we both have that ambition. At least I do, where I really want to get a point. I really want to get to a point where I can like, here's my game, here's what I'm working on, and then be just like, here's the thing I'm working today, or like this, what I did this week, and like the idea with the show then would be like, okay, let's talk about what we did this week and talk about like the challenge that we're faced with. And not only talk about like the challenge that we went through technically, like doing the thing or the art side or whatever, but also like the sort of like pressure that comes with solo game dev and like that aspect of it as well that you don't necessarily always see, the downside of it, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why I like the idea of this show as well, because in some ways, I don't think it has to be like this super polished presentation of the past week's work, right? We can just get together, chat about it real quick, and then that's the end of it. Because one thing I know that is, if you want to try and present stuff, especially if you're making videos, well, like this might just be an expectation that I put on myself. I'm not sure, but like sometimes I feel like if you're gonna make like a video and put it out there, like I feel like there's a lot of work that goes into presenting the thing that you want to talk about. Whereas if we're just hanging out, we can just rattle it off real quick and then just kind of sort of move on. And that's sort of just more, I think that's more sustainable of like more frequent updates. It's just going to be little things here and there. It's just like, oh, I nailed this thing that I've been working on for a while, or whatever. And then it's like, but that's it. I don't have a presentation. I don't have a video. Maybe there's a clip here and there, but it doesn't have to be huge, but it can also be small. Or it can be huge.
I mean, that was also the reasoning too why we always did the weekly dev streams at Coffee. And it's like, it's more important to show that we're like available, or like that we're here. We're doing something, even though we can't always show off really cool things all the time. you know.
That's true. We didn't always give news every
No,
week.
and that's
then.
the thing. Like, it's really hard to always show you like really hype, like gameplay clips or like topics that will be interesting for everyone. It's Discord. I know why it keeps do that now. All right, interesting.
What?
Yeah, every time I full screen Discord, it just like mutes the audio for some reason here. Okay, that's interesting to know.
Oh, interesting.
I actually saw it on the meters now this time. All right,
Interesting.
Good to know. All right, I guess I won't touch that. Good to know.
Right.
But yeah, that's the general gist of what we want to do with the show, basically. And like we said, we'll probably change our minds all the time based on like what works and what doesn't work. But the important thing to remember is that we will do this weekly on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. CEST. And if you want to tune in and watch, then do that. And if you don't want to tune in live or can't tune in live, then the show will also be on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel, youtube.com, http://youtube.com. We also have our website too. We have stateof.dev, which is easier to remember.
If you go there, that'll take you to the YouTube. I'll see if this makes it a clickable link in. Yeah, it does. You can click that link.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I was thinking like that thanks Dex for pinning that on my chat. I don't know if it gets pinned for everyone or not, but yeah, that will take you straight to the YouTube channel. And in my mind, you don't have to think of the whole URL anymore. It's just the name of the show. Yeah. Glad there's some comments here. People saying like just happy that we're hanging out basically. And I mean I'm thinking the same as well. I think we've got a lot of folks who like you and I hanging out. I don't like hanging out with you that much, but
yeah, these last couple of days have been. I need a vacation now. Actually, we just started. I need a vacation.
But I'll do it for them. We're staying together for the kids.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is. It is. We broke up and then we got back together again for the kids.
For the kids, yeah.
But yeah, look a little bit about the behind the scenes.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna.
We were thinking of. I don't know if we should say this or not, but we were thinking of maybe making like more in-depth videos on this next topic. But I think we can do a, like a off the top of our head rundown.
Yeah, I really want to make. Yeah, we'll probably make a video that's more like in depth about this, especially now that we've sort of practically learned what works and what doesn't work. I do want to tell a little bit story before we dive into the behind the scenes.
Go for it, man.
That is that we obviously had our announcement on Monday, right? And that went super smoothly. No hiccups whatsoever. The best is like we've tested this pretty regularly, I would say, before Monday, but it was a while ago since we did the tests. We thought everything was fine, and then Monday came, and then why is stuff off sync even though it looks fine on my computer? So we just had to roll with it. And then yesterday we sat down and like, all right, let's go overthink everything again and make sure everything's fine. Things were not fine. Like, holy shit, everything was on fire. We couldn't figure out why. And it turned out after today, I realized today that it's my fucking ISP. That's just.
I get a text from him in the morning. There's something wrong. We need to call. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no.
No, I wrote little problem. Can we talk?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Little problem. So the problem that I'm having is I can upload. I can't download. I have 700 megabits per second upload, but I don't have anything download. So what we've actually done right now is I'm not actually at home. I'm at my brother's place.
What?
Dun dun dun. Can I
I'm not at home either. I'm at Snutt's place.
Wait a second. How does that make sense? Can I do this?
It's all a lie.
What the fuck? Yeah, the illusion's broken.
My immersion.
Yeah, it's green screen. People probably noticed. But yeah, internet is just dead at my place.
It's pretty convincing.
It's all right. It's pretty good given that I just fucking threw this together like in 10 minutes or something. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing. You remember when you did the green screen on the first update video? Where
my hair.
Exactly. You had green hair at the time. You recorded and it was like, fuck. And then you just did like the goofy thing where like it's obvious that it's green screen and broken. I was thinking of doing something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks
Yeah.
good. Great improvise,
Yeah.
by the
So
way.
my
Yeah.
GG, shout out to my brother who graciously let me just throw up a fucking green screen studio here in his basement and get it rolling. But yeah, the tech.
It was funny because yesterday we were like on call trying to figure everything out for so long, all day. Like literally by the end of the day, I was like so tired. And then when I said goodbye to you, I was like, can't wait till we wake up in the morning and everything's gonna be fucked. That's like what I said to you. Wake up in the morning, everything was fucked.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You said it, and I was like, no, because like we left off at like okay, everything seems fine now. It seems like things are progressing and working. And you said that, and I'm like, I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, and lo and behold, so I spent the entire morning talking to my ISP, like phoning in, and we did like a ton of troubleshooting. And they were just like, yeah, we're gonna have to send someone. I think I don't think we can solve it remotely. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like realistically, like, what does that mean? Is it like something that can be done today? He's like, 1 to 5 business days. And I'm like, all right, I need to find. So either we did this thing, or I would just have gone to Skövde and we could have done it at Jace's place, and he would have had to set up the show on his computer, I guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't see. The thing with why it's so complicated is just because we did the dev streams for so long, and then we were like, the dev streams were like, we sort of had time to do setup for the dev streams, and then we just started doing the streams, and then we just never had time to like work on it again, like from a technical standpoint. And it was kind of scuffed all the time. Like sometimes, like I think in the beginning you would stream, I would capture Jace's video from Discord, and people would be like, "Oh, Jace's camera sucks," even though we had literally the same camera. So then we started setting up like an RTMP server, but then we had the issue of like massive lag. So we had to do these weird sync thingies all the time, which in this setup, we still haven't fully avoided, but it's a lot better now. So, and there's just like other elements, like it's annoying that I am the only one who can control anything. Jace has like no like sense of, can't do anything with the show. He has to like rely on me.
just in general.
Yeah, just lost in the background. Like anytime Jace wants to show anything on stream that's like impromptu, it would be like, oh, can you show this picture? And it has to like send me stuff so I can like display it on my machine, which is really annoying for both of us, especially when I'm like, oh, Jace, shut up. Just let me fucking... and we just really want to solve those problems. So we've sat down and like made a list of like, here's all the things that I wish we could fix for the show. Theoretically, we have solved those problems. Theoretically, practically, maybe not yet. But
I mean, they're solved.
yeah,
It's just
some kinks.
we couldn't do it today because you're not at home today. That's the problem. It would have been fine otherwise.
Well, even then, I think there are some kinks. Like even the NDI thing is still not fully like.
This is the wrong kind of stream for that.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically chatted with an old like an acquaintance that I have that does these remote productions, and he gave me like a bunch of pointers, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So the way it's set up is we run the show on one computer, and then we send that computer through SRT, which is like a protocol, and something called NDI bridge, which is like some network distributed thingy. So we're both like streaming on our own setups on our own OBSs, but we then have a program that's sending it to that. Jace has full control over the stream, but not today because I'm not at home. So I've actually built a web server that handles like the full like scene switching and all that shit. So Jace can theoretically trigger like all the scenes and like switch and that shit. We also have set it up so that Jace can send me video feeds of his screen. So can I show that now, or do you have something embarrassing on screen?
Let me check. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's the Reddit.
Because then, oh yeah, we forgot to check the Reddit. So this is Jace's computer. This is Jace's monitor. And
Yay!
And then when I'm at home, I can show mine, which looks like this. So we have like ways to, like, when we talk about our games, it's going to be possible for us to like, oh, let me just open up the editor and show you. Like, we can actually legit like show you like what's going on separately. We don't have to like make a video or something like that and then prepare before we can just do this ad hoc and do all that shit. And we can do like these like, look, I'm talking, look at me. Jace is listening. Look at him, right?
Hey, my turn to talk now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
so we have all that set up. We have these on-screen graphics, which is really neat. We can also, let me do this. I'm really excited about this.
oh yeah. Someone say something interesting. Did you guys ever work on Goat Simulator games? I worked on I worked on some DLCs.
Yes. So I can do this now, and bloop. Whoops, forgot to do that thing. Post that in there, and then push this button, and be like. Wait for it. The delay is insane. If it...
There we are.
Yeah, there we go. Whoa.
Did you guys... Amazing.
That's an interesting
Look at
comment. Wow.
Wow. Did you guys ever work on Goat Simulator games? Those are fun.
They were. And we can also put in like whatever we want. So we can do our own like little messages as well. So this is really cool. This is something that we really missed during the dev streams because it was like sometimes we talked about something and we just wish it would like we could show it on screen somehow that like this is the thing we're addressing or whatever. We would like sit and pin the comments, I think, sometimes. But it would have just been cooler if it was part of the show, so to speak. And that's something that any one of us can trigger, like super smooth.
Yep.
And obviously the topic.
It is nice. Yeah. And we have like a spreadsheet that we can sort of, like a Google Sheet that we can sort of both see together.
exactly.
So we can like update notes and queue up messages, like chat messages or something like that. Maybe we'll do that a little more later in the chat on chat segment. Yeah. Okay, so there's a question here. Here, let's try this out. Let's try
you
this
can
out.
post it
Let's
and I
try this
can
out.
just press a button. I see when you put it in.
I'm gonna do it. Which one? I do.
And in the future will be super smooth. It would be like
I forgot. Is it without title or with title?
if you have the
in it?
names, it's this one, the with title.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the future will also be super much like a lot more smoother. It'd be like I'll talk and then Jace do this in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Boom.
yeah. This is the thing. Yeah, so that's another part of this program is like we've done everything from scratch. Like everything you see on screen, everything you hear has been made by us. So like all the overlays Jace have designed and like made all the art for. He's made all the little cute guys here, little us. We also have, I'm going to switch to these scenes very quick, but we also like the BRB screen.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
So like we have a bunch of scenes with like us in it and the little cuties. Yeah, I made the music as well. I did it live on stream actually. So it's on my YouTube on the VOD channel.
Nice. That's cool.
And
these like widgets, I did the browser source.
Yeah.
You did some of the coding for some of it. The loading thing with at the beginning and the starting soon. That was I made that one.
That one is really cool.
Yeah, but then also the font. I did make the font.
It's like to that degree.
From scratch.
Yeah.
And holy cow. What a fucking process. Jesus.
It was fun though, right?
No.
Is it fun now though? Was it worth it?
No. It's cool. I'm glad that we have it.
You're getting,
but
there's some love here for the font.
Yeah. I think it looks good, and people are saying that they like it. That's nice. I love the feeling of it. I think it's good. I am proud of what I made. There's a lot of symbols that are missing, so I'll add more. There's some like little tweaks that I'll probably do to it, but largely I think it's pretty good. How does it handle those? Yeah, those characters don't exist. So it's not really.
But it will do some fallback, right? I actually,
there's fallbacking, so it is appearing. It is appearing.
Let's actually do
but it's.
Let's actually do a little trial run here, see what happens.
Yeah.
Because, it does some kind of fallback. Yes, I mean, it still renders it to some degree.
It just doesn't look like Yeah.
Will
you be making open? Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Like, maybe when when we're more done with it, then maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Haven't really thought too much about it yet.
Oh, yeah. I've also thought of just uploading the music to, like, SoundCloud or something. As well. we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's just the fact that everything.
Exactly, Mason.
It's just the fact that like everything has been custom made by us. There's no licensing needed for that. We don't need to license any music because we made it. There's no need to license. Do people license fonts? I don't know. Maybe they do. Some fonts should probably be licensed, but yeah. Yeah, I'm just really proud of all the work that's gone in because we worked on this for 2 months now, for 2 months like calendar time, obviously, but like a lot of time. I've set up long nights coding on the web server and
it's been an intense couple months, especially with other things that were going on, because like there was like a Among the Wild big closed alpha update as well, like a massive one. So there was like a lot of work there to do. There was work on this thing to do. I'm trying to like keep my content stuff going, trying to still work on my game at the same time. Yeah, it's a lot. But it's been fun. It's all stuff that I love. So
true. Drop table students. Whoops. No, I should handle it. It should. Oh, I wish I had the technical difficulties. I should have done like that. Let me put it in the thing and see what happens. Just blue screen. Yeah. All right, whatever. That's for the next show. Yeah, and there's a bit more work left to do, but we just wanted to like, when you work on something for a long time and you haven't told people that like this is something that's coming and like really excited about it, we just got to a point where I'm just like, I just want to fucking announce it at this point. Like we just gotta do the show now, because otherwise we're just gonna be stuck in this forever and never get to a point where we actually do anything.
It's already a tough thing as like game developers where you work on stuff that you can't show, right? So it's like you exert all this energy. And people are like, so can you tell me about it? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's so nice to work on a project and then now we're doing it, right? Like we're putting it out in the world. It feels so good to be able to do that while we're still working on the bigger projects, in the background. So pretty cool.
And it's also like, the longer you work on something, the more that like, well, people like this though. Like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, not that I felt that for this specifically, but that's like something that I think about something when you're making games. Is like sometimes you work on a game for like 2 years and you haven't showed anything, and then you get to the point where like, all right, will people even want to play this? Like, have we just wasted 2 years of our lives on something that won't work? That feeling is a thing that's very hard to overcome.
It still reminds me of like we talked about it on the dev streams with Coffee Stain way back when. Like, I think we've told the story a few times, but I remember hearing from Tim and Christopher before the Update 3 trailer went out for Satisfactory. The story is like the day before that, they had worked so long on that trailer that they were just alone at the office wrapping up someone else's, all their objects on the desk in foil. They're just wrapping up everything in foil, just as a troll. And they're just talking to each other, and they're just kind of like, yeah, I don't even know if it's good, So it's that feeling, But it ended up being like one of the greatest trailers that like we'd ever put out there. It's just when you're so close to something, you can't really tell.
You get very blindsided, I would say.
Yeah.
But that's basically the gist of all the shit behind the show. Like we said, we probably make it like a full-blown YouTube video explaining like specifically all the technical implementations and shit, because there are a lot of I think there's also like educational to some degree, because there's a lot of hiccups that I've had to deal with how OBS works specifically, because the way it works is like I have OBS uses a WebSocket system. I have a Python script that's in OBS that's managing OBS stuff, that's talking to a web server, that's handling the Google Docs shit and all the incoming requests from our like respective controllers, and then it's talking to OBS, and the OBS API is exposes a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't actually implement everything. So like there's a couple of special things you need to do in here to make it actually work, and a lot of it is trial and error, unfortunately.
Yep.
But it is really powerful to use WebSockets in OBS, because you do get control over the majority of features in OBS. So you can do a lot of really cool stuff. I guess, I don't know if you guys have seen those like streamer bots implementations. It's basically like a custom implementation of that.
I think our audio is out of sync.
Is
again.
it the program?
Pretty bad. Yeah.
This is one of those problems that this is what happened in Monday, where like everything is just randomly off sync for some reason, and we just couldn't figure out why, and we still don't really know why this happens because it shouldn't.
No. We couldn't solve it today. We spent so much time today trying to solve this audio sync thing, and all we had to do to just try and the Band-Aid fix was to just set a render delay and guess. And we may have to. The audio sync is perfect for you. What?
Refresh your browser source if you see this happening, because that's also
I'm gonna try it. But...
Oh, you did lag for me there, actually.
No, it's pretty laggy. Yeah.
Do you know if it's?
I'm gonna. What?
Do you want to like check it, and I can entertain the mass while you try and just give me the number?
Yeah, sure.
15 milliseconds, 150 milliseconds later. I mean, we could just guess like, oh, here's a fucking
5.8 here. Okay, so wait. Oh, okay. Maybe.
I mean, the important thing is like if I'm off sync, then you know it's the program. If Jace is off sync, it can be many different reasons. It could be the congest. We spent 4 days debugging lag live on Twitch, literally live on Twitch. Okay, Jace is fucked. It might be that you need to restart the. If it's just Jace.
All right, let me see here.
I'm slightly late. Okay, then it is her program.
No, dude, I don't know. This is cooked. Dude, this is cooked.
This shit is so annoying. Actually, let me check it and see if it's actually this thing. We've spent 2 days just doing this basically, chat. Just syncing back and forth.
I'm putting this back to where it was.
I'm being like, wait a second, is it actually this or what's going on? It's a lot of fun. I wish I had my zoom in button right now. Yeah, it's the program, dude.
So that means we have to add render delay to the program?
I don't know how much though. Do you want to just show that screen? No, we can't do that. It's super annoying.
Okay, wait. Right, I'm just guessing here, folks.
Or maybe it is your scene. Whoa. Oh,
what?
Oh, you were not. I thought you froze for a second. Because it also depends if you're watching us on Jace's channel or my channel.
Oh.
Because we noticed that our delays are also different.
I'm in sync.
Was that good?
Yeah.
What was the magical number?
930 total 930
nice.
milliseconds. Oh.
I'm just gonna hope that it's the same for me.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Well, I can entertain the masses a little bit. So while Snoot does that, what can we talk about real quick? Let's see. Any interesting questions that I can take real quick? Let's see here.
Oh, I hear that.
Yeah, it starts sliding as the stream goes on. That is the problem, Falk. We don't have a concrete way to lock this down, unfortunately, and we couldn't figure it out up until now. We've been working on it all day. So
the thing I think that
we will hopefully have a proper solution for next week.
The thing I think we need to do is do SRT on the outputs instead of NDI on the output. That's my theory on the thing we should try next, because I feel like when we tried the SRT shit on your end, it didn't drift. It was like consistent.
It was really consistent.
So I think that might be the better way to go about it. It's like we both have SRT outputs on the program, then and hunky-dory. Is it good on my end, chat? Does it seem fine? I can't really like. All
right. We got a good question.
Oh, this is really better be really good. I guess the positive thing is like if you're watching this. By the way, this is also a question that's popped up a couple of times actually. If we were gonna like take the audio of this and like upload it to like podcast services or something like that, that's something we haven't really talked about or thought too much about.
Yeah.
But that does sound interesting. I think that's something we could do.
Yeah. I think so as well. And especially if we iron out all this stuff so we don't have it included, But
sure. In that version you won't get the desync, the podcast version.
True.
So if we never talk about it, then it won't be a problem in the podcast.
Yeah. Maybe it would still be good to have this first episode, but we might have to like edit
Yeah.
around like all this like weird shenanigans a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone did ask earlier how long the stream will go for, and we're thinking the show will be 2 hours basically, and we're thinking that in the last 30 minutes at least it'll be the last 30 minutes we'll do the chat on chat stuff, but it could even be more Q&A chat on chat stuff before that if we have less stuff to talk about for the stream. We just hang out together. I do have a thing. If you could just press the button, don't look at the message, the chat message, just open it up.
What?
Open up the chat widget.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, when you did the art for stream, did you end up having to render naked versions of you and Snutt beforehand to get the clothes right? Yeah, absolutely. I had to make sure I got all the dimensions correctly. I needed I needed Snutt to send me reference pictures, to make sure that I got everything
I don't
right.
remember doing that.
No.
You didn't send. Yeah, you didn't send
maybe.
it to me. It's just I just had it. I was like, huh? Wait, what?
Yeah. No, yeah, you didn't send it.
Hold up. Wait, what?
I was there.
Hold up. Wait, what?
No. Snutt playing dumb right now. No. But no, it was fun. The art was it was pretty good. One thing I would like to do with the art actually is I would like to do like little animations. That would be good. Little idle ones. That's one thing that I really want to do. Kendall or anatomically correct?
What does that mean?
Kendall. Well, Kendall's smooth, right? There's nothing there. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Was an echo there? Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, wait, does it capture? Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, no.
That's my bad, chat. Sorry. I was looking at the stream. I got a bit of ego boost there.
Oh, you're catching desktop audio. I see. Oh, that was probably from the thing earlier.
Yeah, I just wanted to look at the sync. I mean, I'm close. I think we have different offsets because I saw people say whatever. We probably won't linger too much on those technical issues, chat. We appreciate people calling it out though, and we'll try and fix it on the behind the scenes when it happens. But we just today will be a bit scuffed. Is just the thing.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to power through it. I
exactly.
think, to a degree.
Just close your eyes and pretend that we're in sync.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did say someone mentioned before that like if you do it into a podcast, like it's weird when you have like visual things on the screen. I think that's true. But I also see a lot of podcasts that are filmed and like they do show things on those podcasts and they're meant to be podcasts.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just like a trend now.
I think it's also that like there's a couple things I think that you could probably do as well. Is that like if we're showing a question on screen, just make sure that you read it out really clearly, and then it's like audio-wise it'll probably be okay. Obviously, if they're just showing things, then there's not really too much you can do. But I think even podcast listeners will probably just go, okay, like it is what it is as long as the show isn't so focused on visuals.
Yeah, exactly.
If it happens here and there, it's probably not that bad. So
I guess it's just like a bit of a habit for us, I guess, to just get used to the fact that like think of when we show things off, just think of like how this would work not visually, I guess, or something. I don't know. Unless it's too annoying for us to do that, then we probably won't do it.
Because our podcast usually recorded rather than live. Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, that's kind of why this is more of a show than anything. We're just hanging out live show.
There are a couple of podcasts that I know are recorded on Twitch first, and then they actually broadcast them.
Right.
So, I mean, you can do anything you want, Chad. You can just follow your dreams.
True. We can make our own rules.
Exactly. Just hire someone to read out what they see. Oh, those like, when you accidentally trigger in Windows where it like starts reading what you're hovering over with your mouse and you're just like, oh God, what's going on? Stop. No, wait. Window, file, edit, view. Like it just keeps going. You're like, how did I turn?
Is that like the TTS thing?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to turn this
Screen
on.
reader?
Yeah, I don't know how to turn this on. How do I stop this? Please. No, I'm going insane. Yeah, the narrator. Exactly. It's so funny. Oh, I also want to mention this, by the way. Someone asked about this before about closed captions. I completely forgot about that. We usually use like the closed captions plugin, or at least I do. I don't know if you do as well. Actually, I might be able to just set that up now on my end, or not.
Yeah, I could probably do it, but it's also tricky because we got two speakers as well, right? You and me.
Yeah.
Like I can just set the audio
It's
probably
usually pretty
to.
good though, because we used it on the dev streams too, and people were like, "Yeah, it's pretty okay," but I don't have it available now. So that's something in the future, chat. We will definitely consider that.
Yeah. Actually, I could maybe enable it right now. Do I press the
Yeah, I
button?
mean, go for it.
All right.
So if you want closed captions, then wait, let me.
Okay. I think it
Oh,
started.
whoops.
Hello, test,
I
test.
opened Discord. Fuck.
Yeah, there we go. It's on mine.
Cool. Then I'll just do one of these. Closed captions available on Jace.
There we are. It seems to work.
Oh, whoops! I almost fucked this.
Man. Oh no. Oh no. First try. Not
Yep.
bad. Actual first tries.
Nice. You get them, so you win a few. You win some, not.
You win some, you
Yeah.
lose some. All right. Should we move on to another topic, or is there more on the tech stuff that you wanted to talk
I
about?
don't think there's. Yeah, no. I think we covered everything. All the tech stuff. These last couple of days have been like the most stressful days this entire year. I feel like.
Yeah.
Did we mention that we found a bug in the chatbot thing like 10 minutes before the stream as well? That we just like Jace
Yep.
just like threw himself on the keyboard and started coding. Like that's fun. That's
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
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 But yeah,
There was a few people that were in the offline chat beforehand, and seeing us like test. As like Pino was there, Redex was
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
but sub notifications work for some reason. It's like
yeah.
you win some, you lose some.
My code, I guess, is what it is. What can you do?
Yep. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
So the next thing we'll talk about is
want-
sort of like a little bit of our games are at the moment.
Yeah, little dog.
Wait, what? Did we spell state of wrong? Where? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, because of the little curly thingies. No, it's just not recognized by the programming language that we're using for the show.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Oh, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've heard some people be like, "Oh, it triggers me to see the little lines."
The squiggly
Got
line.
'em.
Yeah.
The funny thing too is
Pretty
that
good.
like if you put this in, at least when I tested this, if you put this in an editor, it will look like this. You'll get this
Yeah.
like color grading and shit.
Didn't we pull the colors from VS Code, or
Don't say that.
did we
No,
tweak
don't
it?
say that.
I mean, PS
We're
code.
original. We didn't just steal the color.
Actually, the color values came to me in a dream.
Yeah. A fever dream. Yeah, totally.
Oh, your wife explained all the programmer jokes in the logo. Yeah, that's a few.
There isn't a space before the comments. You can do it that way, I feel like. I mean, that's just fucking formatting rules that you make up in your room.
There isn't a space before a comment. There is one. There's a little space.
I think, or do
Little
they
space.
mean that you should have a
Oh,
space?
like after the slash space dev,
Yeah,
right?
we did try that. I really liked this one better. I think I remember.
I think it doesn't compile if there's a space, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It throws an error. But yeah, let's. I think today we thought we would mostly just hang out and chat with you guys and just say hello. But let's chat a little bit about what we're doing, what we're working on, at least what we can talk about right now.
Yeah, which may not be too much, but we'll see.
Do you want to start or should I go first? I can go first. Actually, let me go first because mine is the more like less to talk about, I guess.
Okay.
But I've talked about this a couple of times on stream before. We're both working on our own games. Jace has been working on his game for a lot longer than I have. I'll tell you that much. Another thing that I also want to mention real quick is that a little bit of advice that I often heard when I was thinking of like, leaving Coffee Stain and doing my own thing was that like, you should know what you are going to work on before you like, abandon your full-time job or like, you want to know what you're committing to. And I did not do that. I went in with the thought of like, I just want to see what I want to do. You know, I want to like, maybe I could do content creation full time, or maybe I want to work on a game full time, or, you know, I didn't know, like I didn't commit to something. I had a couple of loose ideas. I actually had one game idea that I'm like, I could work on this game. And then like a month before, or like a couple of weeks before I left, that exact game came out. And it was quite successful too. And I was like,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And the person, one of the people that I told about my game, just messaged me like, I mean, at least it was good. Like, it's a good idea at least.
Yeah, true.
So that was a bit of a bummer for me. So I had to like completely change my idea of what I wanted to do. But yeah, I didn't know what to do, and I think it's good advice. Like if you are someone who's like aspiring to do something on your own and like I want to do my own thing, I think it's really good if you have an idea of what it is you want to commit to, and like at least start it so you know that like, oh, actually this is something I could see myself working on. Because it is really rough to...
Yeah, actually, fun fact, by the way, I have actually been contacted by another dev that has made a game that is that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So that is
there is a bit of like a... there's
but...
a bit of a trend sometimes in game dev or games in general when they're made. You know, sometimes you watch like a reveal thingy and there's like 4 games that are pretty much very similar. For instance, recently, I can't remember which show it was, but there was a lot of games that were like, you know, floating islands in the sky, and you were like flying between the islands or like crafting stuff on the islands. Like all of those came out.
Is that a Loft?
Loft is one example. Yeah, exactly.
A Loft,
there's like, what's it called? A Craftopia. I can't remember. It was made by the same people who made that game, by the way. Can't remember.
Okay.
The game I'm talking about, by the way, is a game about digging a hole. I had that exact idea, and it also implemented the exact same way that I thought I was going to do it. I just want to brag. Oh, I had the full idea. Solarpunk, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Same vein. And a Loft. Yeah, there's a bunch of games like that. And they all sort of came out at the same time. And I doubt that they all like saw, I think they all were inspired by something that came out, and maybe it was Tears of the Kingdom. And they were like, oh, that's cool. And that gave me an idea, something like this. And then they all got that idea. And then, you know, a lot of people tend to come up with the same idea. So
I think I've noticed that happen before in the past as well.
Because it's happened like with Bloodborne and with Prototype and Infamous. Those were also 2 very similar games. They came out like almost at the exact time. It's, you know, these people work on these games for multiple years. So it's kind of wild how they just line up like that.
Yeah. But I guess it's like, it's also like a somewhat of a bias thing, right? Like there's, if you think about it, like you've got first of all people who are good at, you know, they're skilled at making games. We're all in the same kind of environment, and so in some ways it may spawn similar ideas in different places, right? But then not only that, we have the bias of, well, we notice the ones that clash more than those that don't, right? So yeah, but it is really interesting when it does happen.
Yeah. But yeah, so I basically didn't know what to do, and I've just been like, this last couple of months, I've just been sort of like struggling with figuring out, do I want to do game dev or do I want to do content creation? I tried doing content creation full time for a little bit, and it was like sort of fulfilling, and it did generate income. But I then started prototyping a couple of ideas I had, and it's just like, it's very day and night for me in terms of like flow and like how I feel, you know, like I can have a really good stream and I'm like, oh, that felt really good. That was a really good stream. But I feel so much more fulfilled when I have a good day of like working on a game, whether it's programming or making art or whatever. Like, it's just like seeing that come together, like developing something. I mean, obviously you're sort of developing your own content and your own like brand or whatever, your own stream setup or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, it's just so much more like, I felt more at home when, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like committing and I see like the commit log and I'm like, holy shit, it's coming together. And like, look at what I've created so far. And like, you know, it's like, this is very bare bones, but this is fun to play. And it's that fulfillment was such a like, yeah, this is what I should be focusing more on.
Yeah. I'm actually like, I think the exact same way as well. Like I like having all the different things that I'm doing. There's like a whole bunch of reasons for it. It's like, it's fun. I really like enjoy hanging out with the community and stuff like that. And then of course there's like the financial aspect where it helps sort of keep the lights on too. But I would definitely say, and I've said it before, that like those wins on my project are definitely they definitely feel better than anything else. But like the other stuff I enjoy still. But it's like, yeah, when I have like a good week on my game, oof, that just, you know, my mood just skyrockets.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, the my approach was I made like 4 or 5 prototypes. I might show off some of these prototypes at some point in the future, but they're very bare bones. But the prototyping phase to me is just like make small ideas and see what sort of like sticks. And it's not just like make something that's fun. For me, there are many different aspects to it. It's like I want to make a game that like obviously is fun. It's like, but I also want to make a game where it's like fun for me to market, like as in like make content with it. That's something that I really want to do. I want to be able to make content with my game that I'm working, both when I'm working on, but also the game itself. I want it to be like a couple of like the pinpoints that I had in my checklist was like, I want it to be streamer friendly because I think streaming is such a like powerful word of mouth thing when you see people play a game. You know, and I think there are some games where when you watch someone stream it, it sort of like fulfills you. You don't really feel like you need to play it. So I want to make a game where like it's both fun to watch someone's content playing that game, but you also want to feel like, but I actually do want to play it myself. Because I think about that all the time when I watch content creators. It's like I watch a lot of content creation and I'm like, that's a really cool game. That looks like a really good game. But I've sort of like satiated myself by the fact that I've consumed this content. I don't really feel like I need to play it. And maybe that doesn't really say anything about the games themselves. Maybe it's just from my perspective. But I'm always like fascinated by when I watch someone play a game, and I also like, now I really want to play that game too. And I don't feel like I've got enough of it. So that was also like something that was important to me, at least. That's not necessarily something that like, this isn't like game dev advice for anyone really. Like this is not something you have to like focus on.
It's just your preference.
This is my preference. Yeah. And I think it's like a balance, right? Between like, I want to make a game that's, you know, marketable and like also matches the platform that I'm selling it on, which is Steam, because not every game works on Steam. Unfortunately, there are some games that do perform better on Steam, but I also don't want to be fully like, I have to think business wise and like, I have to make a game that everybody wants to play. There's a balance between this is something that I enjoy working on. This is something that I will feel fulfilled by releasing. But also to some degree, it has to make sense. It also has to generate some income and it has to be sort of marketable and all that shit. So like there's many things that sort of need to match my ideas. And my ideas are my ideas. They don't necessarily mean that like these are gonna like, I mean, obviously since I haven't released any game ever solo, it's not, that's not to say like I figured it out or anything like that. This is just like what my vibes with how I feel like it works in the industry and what I think I would prefer doing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But I think that's how people approach like anything that they create, right? So it's like, it's from your experience, from your perspective, from your understanding of the situation, you come to your own conclusions on how you should, you know, enter that space, right? And what you ought to create and what sort of, you know, gives you energy, right? And so, yeah, I mean, like what you're describing is that the stuff that does that for you.
Because it's
that balancing act.
Because it's so hard to say like, I see so many comments or threads on, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the worst offender of this, where a game will become really popular. Like for instance, when Schedule 1 got really popular or Balatro, there'll be like a thread dissecting why that game is successful. And I think that's really dangerous to do because a lot of people who are successful can't explain themselves why they're successful. And sometimes it's just the fact that like, you know, those people at that time did something together in this scenario, like context, and it just like sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes it's they actually know what they're doing. You know, like
or not even necessarily luck, because sometimes luck is downplaying things too much, right? Like sometimes it's not even necessarily luck. It's just it is a specific configuration, right, that worked out, right? And it doesn't even have to be the ideal configuration. It's just it was exactly what it needed to be at the time and place.
And I see these threads all the time, and often they'll get debunked by the people working on the games. So for instance, Balatro is always like, it's a solo dev, it's always a narrative, like it's made by one guy, and like he did everything, he didn't do any like marketing, he just put everything together. But like, no, actually there's like I think there's I don't know. I actually don't want to say a number, but I feel like I've heard there's a lot of people working on Balatro right now.
Snutt said 10,000
exactly.
people. That's what he said. He just whispered in my ear.
What's his name? I can't remember. The local thunk or something, right? The creator of it, so to speak, the guy who came up with it. I think he's tweeted sometime like, "I'm so tired of this solo narrative thing. I did not make the game myself. There's a ton. Just check the credits, please. Just check the credits. There's many people working on it." You know, he had a publisher before it became famous. They had campaigns that they ran. They were targeting specific things, and even then, it's hard to say like, was it because of the publisher? Then maybe not. Like it's hard to sell. Some of these games just like they just appear out of nowhere seemingly. It could be an algorithm thing. It could be it could be a publisher that knows what they're doing and really good at marketing. Like it's so hard to say. And I think it's dangerous to like justify all these decisions and say like that's how you should do it. Sometimes they work out, but I think you have to sort of like try and grab as much information you can as possible and try to like figure out what makes sense.
And then apply it to your situation.
Yeah, exactly. Apply it to your situation.
That's like the key thing. Yeah. So like I think there's nothing wrong with those breakdowns, but I think if you walk away going, all right, now I have my script of how to do this. Like I think that's the dangerous part there.
Yeah, I don't mind the breakdowns either. I just don't like the certainty of this is why it was. That's how I saw the frame. It's like this is why.
Yeah. Especially when like I see so many games that get made, or it's not even just games. It could be movies, it could be art, whatever. That's just like it's super not. It wasn't done correctly, you know, but you love it so much. It's just so charming, and that's like. At the end of the day, that's what matters, right? When you interact with something, it's like, how much does this particular thing speak to you for whatever reason? You know?
But yeah, basically, the game that I'm working on right now is, the only thing I can say so far is that it is a first-person game. It is a, like, creative game. It's sort of like I'm not going to say too much, but you have some creative freedom with it. And the thing too that's kind of interesting.
Okay, so multiple endings is what you're saying.
I mean,
right?
Maybe.
1,000 endings.
The thing that's also interesting is that like I'm not sure if you have the same approach with this, but like I like thinking of like the other reason why I like working this game is that this game works as like an MVP. Like I can make the bare bones of this game and feel like, yeah, it's pretty good. It has all the elements, but I can also
MVPs being most valuable player.
No, most valuable. Wait. Minimum value product.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what does that actually stand for? Yeah, like the minimum value product could be good enough. And I could probably release that and, you know, go cheap and sell it. But I can also see myself like adding a ton of stuff to it that doesn't like break the core of the game or anything like that. It's not like sometimes when you make games, you sort of have to make a decision where like, this is what I'm pursuing. And if I'm pursuing that, then I can't do this thing anymore. You know, that happens sometimes. So I can definitely, there's elements of this game where I'm like, I can pursue this and it won't break the core elements of the game. I can add this and it also won't break the game. So like, you know, it makes it so much easier for me to like pick and choose like in the future when I decide to commit on something. And that's also sort of why I like it so far.
Yeah.
It might be multiplayer. We'll see. If I have the patience for it.
All right, MMO game, good.
That's the
multiple endings.
Do you still see people say that? By the way, like my first game's going to be an MMO.
Yeah, my first game is going to be
because
an MMO.
that was. It's not a meme, but like I saw so many people like my first game is going to be an MMO, and it's like, yo, that's very ambitious.
Yeah, I think maybe it probably still comes up because I think it's a natural occurrence for people who are, you know, if you're learning and you're eager, you know, and you get like an idea of like, well, what's cool? What stimulates my neurons? You know, it's easy to think of something grand and like, you know, an MMO could be really cool. And yeah, if you are new, maybe don't start there though.
I guess that's always the hard part when you're starting out is that you don't know what's hard or like what takes time or what's resource demanding. A spoiler alert.
I mean, I'm failing at that even to this day. I mean, you know,
it's so weird.
Yeah,
some things are super
an impossible problem.
It's like some things are super easy to do, and some things that seem easy are fucking impossible. And you just, you know, sometimes you see something like, I wonder why games don't do this. Like this would be really cool, and then you try to implement it. Like, I understand why games don't do this now. So it's really hard. But yeah, we'll see when it releases. I think my idea was that I want to work on a game for like half a year. I now realize that's not going to happen. There's no shot I can even make the MVP in 6 months. But we'll see how long I can sustain myself doing it. And, I also don't know if this is something that I want to like pursue, like seek financial aid as well. Because the process sometimes is like, I've seen this happen a lot with a couple of my friends who were laid off, unfortunately. But like the process for a lot of people in the industry is like you work on like a prototype and then you have like solid something and then you try and seek financial aid from like a publisher or something and just be able to like keep working on it basically. And I have had meetings with publishers, not because I'm like seeking funding, but just because people were curious and, friends, having worked in this industry, people, that privilege that we sort of got from working at Coffee Sign, I guess. So I have pitched it to some publishers and they've shown interest, but nothing has been like concrete or cemented down. And I also don't know if I'd want to pursue that. I feel like I want to sort of try and not get tied up to like a publishing deal or something like that. But who knows? Maybe in the future, you never know. It could be that I work on this for like a year and then I'm like, shit, this game could be really cool. And then I do that and hire people and we work on it together or figure something out. I don't know. But I feel that feels very ambitious to me right now. I'm not sure if that's...
There's different ways to go about it.
Exactly. But that's basically where I'm at right now.
Sick, bruv. Sick.
No, I'm making this on Unreal Engine. All right, Jace, shoot.
Yep, I'm making it in the Real Engine. The Real Engine 6. So my game... I think my approach to my game is like there's overlaps between things that Snutt and I do, especially when it comes to the content creation front kind of thing, like the fact that like we're both interested in doing that at the same time. But I think like to me, the motivation for my project is like a much more like personal motivation. And so to me, I don't care like about the Steam stuff. I don't care if my game is good or bad for Steam. I don't care if my game is like good or bad for anyone. The only thing I care about is making something that I'm deeply in love with, and that's the thing, right? So like this is like something that I've actually never shared this personally, but this project is also this thing. It's like where I made a bit of a promise to myself when I was younger to do something, and this project is me attempting to fulfill that promise to like the younger Jace, basically. So that's why it's like this really, really personal thing. And that's why nothing really matters to me. The only thing that matters is I find ways to make the game somehow. Right. And so there's different ways for me to do that. Like I have part-time work to help keep sustain myself. I do the content creation stuff to hopefully, maybe to have fun. And also to earn some money. And I do whatever I can to just enjoy the process. I don't know how long it's going to take me. Like it's definitely not been the most efficient way to make a game, but there's also been a lot of like benefits to doing things this way. Like it's been 2 years since I've done it. Sure, since I left and I started working on the game. Sure, I don't think I'm far enough, or how to say this. I wish I was further than I was, but if I look at the whole 2 years and look at what I accomplished, there's so much more than just the game that I accomplished. And there's so much about the process that I've just been enjoying, growing from. And so, like, again, it's not just the game for me. Like, there's going to be a day, I hope, where I release the game, right? That day, I hope will come. And that's everything that I'm putting my energy into. But it is not about that. That is the least important part to me. I've been fortunate enough to make games and release games. I've been fortunate enough to have dreams and achieve them. And one thing that I've realized multiple times is that the achieving at the end, that thing at the end is it has for me has always been hollow, and the journey has always been the interesting part. And so that's why right now the thing that I care about the most is how do I live a life that I really, really enjoy doing? And so right now, I chip away at my game to the best of my ability. You know, it ain't always perfect. I gotta keep tweaking the knobs to make things work. I try and keep content up and running. I try and hang out with my friends at Nuggets and work on games there. It's all things that I really, really enjoy. It's not easy though. It's very challenging, but this is precisely what I want to be doing. It's like in years from now, it'll all be over, right? Like the game will be out, maybe Among the Wild will be out. Who knows? Who knows? And I'll look back on a journey that I'm proud of, and that's the thing that motivates me to do what I'm doing. Yeah. So as for what my game is, it's a top-down 2D pixel art. I feel like if I were to say RPG, it's a little bit much because the game it will be more bare bones than that. It's like a narrative game, but there'll be like some there's like gameplay in there too. And it's a combination of things that I love, a combination of ideas and game designs that I think are brilliant, that to me neatly fit together in my mind. And so that is what I'm trying to realize, basically. I use the Godot engine, and I love the Godot engine. That is my favorite engine to use right now. It's so fun. Yeah, and I'm learning pixel art as well. It's very hard, but also very fun and very rewarding. Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do, work on my game. Yeah.
I think it really, what's the word here? Like, I really reflect on the fact when you talk about Godot, because like, I'm using a real engine. I really love using a real engine. I have used a Godot too. I actually made a small little game in Godot. And like a big part of making games for me is just that I have made my own engine once, and it is a lot of work. And, if you know that you're making something very, very specific, then yeah, that's good. But I also really enjoy when like the tools that you use are just like very satisfying to use for the thing that you're trying to create. Yeah. And I think that's one big part in like when you're choosing your engine, is that like sometimes some engines maybe not be fitted for what you're trying to create. Because like Unreal Engine to me is that sometimes, like if I have worked on like a 2D sort of game once, and Unreal Engine isn't really made with that in mind, but you can totally do it. There are games that were made in Unreal Engine that were 2D that look like they're not made in Unreal Engine. But there's just like, there are elements in the engine sometimes, generally, where you're just like, I just enjoy the way that this is set up, and I just enjoy working with this. Godot has that, like, when I made my own engine, Godot is very, very similar to how I made it. Because I think when you compare Godot and Unity, I think Godot has a couple of like architectural differences that makes more sense to me. It might not make sense to everyone, but Godot has like a bunch of changes that just like, oh, this makes sense the way they've set up the scene structure, for instance. That's exactly how I implemented it when I made my own engine. And I was kind of surprised that like, oh shit, I didn't realize that someone else thought.
And this is where you announce that you're actually the secret creator of Godot, right?
I wish. No, Godot I think is really cool. I think it's a really cool project. Yeah, the engine, it's really exciting. The other thing I also want to touch on when you talked about like why you're making a game, I actually had this conversation with someone who we talked about like success when it comes to when you release a game, or like what does it mean when a game is successful? And I think some people view it as like, oh, when a game is successful is when it sells really good. But I don't really view it that way when it comes to like something that I'm working on. Obviously, if I made like an overnight success or whatever, that would be nice. But I've also talked to other developers who have felt like, I'm glad my game didn't become an overnight success, because I feel like it would have been hard for me to pursue something else, or hard for me to commit to something that I feel like in the moment. If you work on something for a long time, you get really tired of it, and then suddenly it blows up and you're like, well, this is what makes sense financially, I guess.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Like either you find yourself with obligations, or it's just like too good of an opportunity, right? Like it's like, I should keep going with this because it's gonna really set me up for later.
Because like success comes in many flavors, and I think if you make a game and you release it, and like in my eyes, if I just go even, that's a huge success. That meant that I worked on my game for free for a year or whatever, how long I worked on it. Even if I don't sell even, maybe it sells less. I mean, I could still consider that a success because of the time that I spent working on my game and the fact that I finished it. I just hope that I won't get to a point where it feels like a grind for me to finish it or whatever. That can obviously it can always happen, and then it stings extra, I guess, when nobody wants to play it, I guess. But I think it's important to always look back and think of like what you've created, and it's it is cliche, but like the journey does matter a lot for some of these projects.
I think it's just important to be proud of what you're making.
And some.
But I think it's a difference for everyone, though, right? At the end of the day, because some people, like, their motivation really is, look, I want to make something that earns me a bunch of money, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. You can do that, right? Like, if that's what speaks to you, if you see the challenge of like creating something that sets you up for a long time, like, go for it. Like, that's cool. Good luck, But I think different people find value and find purpose in different things. And I think that's what makes people really interesting. Yep. So is that everyone can have different ones, different motivations.
I think that's also the nice thing. If we wrapped back to like, if I were to seek investment, that's sort of taken away from me a little bit. Because if I suddenly like, oh, I want to seek investment and like build a studio around this game, then suddenly you don't have that. Like you suddenly have other responsibilities that you need to fulfill. It's no longer about the fact that like I'm proud of the achievement I made. I also need to pay someone's salary and make sure that they can make a living. And then they become a responsibility almost. Like I want to make sure that they, are treated fairly and all that stuff. And solo dev, you have so much more control and like so much more, control over what you define as success. Because if you're fine with your game not selling amazingly or whatever on Steam, then it's not a failure when it doesn't. But if you suddenly feel like, but I have to pay my publisher or like make sure that this investment goes through, suddenly success has different parameters that need to be fulfilled. I
think at the end of the day, as long as people are trying to, get into a position that they want to be in, I think that's the thing. So again, I imagine so many folks who are like, I'm happy to take that trade. Yeah, okay, I've got deadlines, blah, 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 but it means I have security. Cool. Go for it.
It is very interesting to talk to other developers where like, some, because with the recent things that's going on in the industry, a lot of people obviously been laid off and a lot of people have left game dev because of some bigger studios, don't handle it so well, or like there's a whole, I'm not going to go into this, but there's a whole slew of reasons as to why the industry is the way it is today. And some people have just been like, I can't do this right anymore. I just want stability. I have a kid now. I just want to like feel like I don't have to worry about waking up the next day or like what's going to happen or whatever. And some people find it exciting, and it's just we're just different stages in life.
Indeed.
And it is interesting to, and I obviously have thought about that too, when you see your bank account drain and you're just like, man, should I just take a regular job and just like not stress about this anymore? Because it is when you're doing something on your own, the days are definitely, you feel pressure every day to some degree. And it is hard to sometimes justify all your decisions, especially when you're the only one you can reason with about your decisions and the justification as to it. Because I definitely felt that at the beginning, like the first couple of months, where even though I had money coming in, I was still like, yeah, but was this a good idea? Like, is this gonna pay off in the long run? Like, it's so hard to think like that all the time, because sometimes you just have to do things, that feels right, and you don't know whether they'll pay off or not.
Yeah. There's a lot of folks in the world who have that, looming over them kind of thing, right? So it's always a tough kind of pressure, but just gotta take it a day at a time and see what you can work with, I suppose, to make it all work.
I mean,
but hey, like I think at the end of the day as well, like even if it doesn't work out, this is the thing that like not only do I tell myself as copium, but like I genuinely believe is that like even if it doesn't work out, like it's okay. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
Exactly.
Like if at the end of the day I don't end up making my game and I've lost like all the money and whatever, like it's okay. Like that's okay. That was still like a good use of my time, in my opinion, on the planet, like to try to do something, to try make something. And trying doesn't necessarily mean, like, if every pursuit you did was guaranteed success, I mean, that's an interesting concept. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's okay to try stuff.
Yeah, this is actually exactly what I wanted to add as well. It's like, you know, so if it doesn't work out, you still, I think there's always just like, you know how sometimes when you work on something and you realize this doesn't work, or like you took different routes and none of them really became productive something, but you still took those. Like, I think it's very dangerous to always think like, oh, I only think about committed code, or like committed, this became a thing. But like, even if you don't commit something, you still took that route and you still learned something, and you also produced something. Yeah. Even though. Yeah, progress comes in many shapes and forms as well, right? Yeah. And I don't necessarily always mean that as like a cop-out thing. It's just like, it really does. Like, there's all sorts of ways to sort of progress in what you're doing. Yeah, I think. So it's, well, you know, it's what I believe, and it's what gives me energy to keep doing what I'm doing. But it was interesting because, like, in the beginning, I think, you know, pulling the trigger to go solo and do this in Sweden, and, you know, which is, you know, and then like navigate the legal system here, like the you know, the tax system and all that stuff, set up a business, like, to do all of these things were overwhelmingly like difficult in my mind. And I'm the kind of person who, when I get super stuck on hard decisions, I struggle to push past them, right? And I know I'm not alone in that. There's this, you know, by any means. But it was so great to just, you know, commit anyway, and just to take one step at a time and just look at what's in front of me. And I think I've learned a lot. And like, when I look back of what I have learned and what I managed to pull off, and the fact that I'm still going, like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Like, I'm very proud of myself. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a lot of fun, because I've definitely met up with you at times when you're like super positive and like, holy shit, that was the best decision of my entire life doing this. And I'm like, things are looking up for old Jace. And sometimes other times when we talk, where you're like, holy shit, dude, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, I have never regretted ever for a second doing this, but it has not been easy. Yeah. I do not show, or I try not to show the hard times as much as possible, right? But like, it has not been easy, but that's okay. It doesn't, like, I didn't ask for it to be easy. And to me, I want the whole roller coaster. You know, when you, I know roller coasters are kind of the wrong way around, but you know, when you go down, that's the fun part. You put your hands up, you got to go up to get there. Yeah. Whatever. In reality, we got to flip that. But yeah, it is. So it's been interesting.
And I've felt the same way. Why is my camera blinking? All right.
That's just your eyes, dude. It's just your eyes. You're blinking.
The fuck? All right, maybe it shuts off in a sec or something. I don't know. It's not. I don't know.
Yeah. But we've been getting a lot of questions.
Yeah, shoot.
And I've noticed that we haven't been responding to them because we said we wouldn't. Because we would have a section at the end of the stream where we would do that, right? So the chat on chat section, we were thinking the last half hour, which is now. I don't know. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Should we do that? And then people can like ask the questions, like, because they've been good questions. I've been want to answer them.
Sounds good to me, dog.
But yeah. Chat on chat on chat.
Chat on chat.
Yep. Also, thanks again, folks. There's been subs. There's been follows. Maybe I can, while Snut's doing some stuff, I can read the ones that I got on mine. Okay, so let's do this real quick before we get into the chat on chat. So there was Tomfy gifted 5 subs in the beginning. DJW Mobley with 500 bits. QA money, thank you very much, DJ. Morgantic with a resub, 53 months. Yo, crazy. Thank you so much. Endeavor with 10 gifted. We got some follows too. Janet with a tier 1 sub, 13 months in a row. Thank you so much. Molly gifted a sub. Thank you very much, Molly. We got a prime from Trigger Happy Jack. Shinny with a prime as well. State of Endeavor, yay. And Michael249 gifted a sub to Snutt. There you go. So enjoy your emote, Snutt.
Can you gift to someone even though they're subscribed to your channel? I guess you can. I guess you can, because it adds on. Okay. I haven't thought of that before. I feel like I've seen that. Okay, whatever.
Giwan 1982 with a prime. Mason with a Prime, thank you very much. Bitransu, hey folks, hope everything's well. Everything is going great. Thank you for the 51 months. Much appreciated. Another Prime from Unsupervision, and then another 50 bits from DJPC saying, stay hydrated, please. So hydrate.
Glong, 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 glong. And I also got another hydrate, but I don't have anything to drink right now.
Glug, glug, glug,
Glug,
glug,
glug,
glug.
glug, glug. Also, chat, I really appreciate everyone on my end who are spamming the "will bang okay" sound effect, even though it's not coming through. I see you all, and we will bang. We will bang, okay? Like, don't worry, we will. Have you seen the?
All right, cool. No,
Jace like,
cool.
all right.
I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it.
Have you not seen the? What's it called? The guy who like remixes games audio and he makes like his own sentences and shit. What's it called? Gamer Poop, right?
Oh,
The Mass Effect one is a fucking masterpiece. That's where this is from. Report to the ship. Well, bang. Okay. Anyways, I write it to you sometimes. Actually, I just realized. I feel like I've referenced this many times to you, and I don't tell you what the reference is, and you just see.
I thought that was just a like a genuine, like a earnest message that you were sending me. And I'm like, that's why I keep responding when, and you never answer. I don't get it.
So sorry to break the bubble to you, dude.
What the?
But yeah, Kibitz, thanks for the. Can I run through mine?
Yep. Yeah. Could you update topic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then go for it.
You just press the button, right? Whoops,
I don't know,
wrong
maybe.
button. Did you put it in?
Yeah.
Don't clip that, chat. All right. Anyways, Gibbs, thank you for the 4 months. Let me just filter out the little channel points. What are they called? They're called reward, right? I'm such a pro on Twitch, by the way. I've been streaming full time almost. I stream 3 times a week, and I still haven't figured out how to use Twitch. Clearly, did my computer just crash? No, we're good. All right, Kip, thanks for the 4 months. Michael with the resub for 5 months as well. Koi Koi, 6 months. Tomfy also gifted. We also have Morgantic, the 54 months. Jesus Christ, Heroic Replicas with that insane 50
crazy
gift subs. Bean Boy with that little Subaroony Gaznator. Bits came in with a raid before. I'm sorry we didn't call you guys out, but we appreciate you all. Joe Bro, the Prime, and we got some bits from Michael, and DGPC told me to hydrate, and I've messed it up. And then Cracking McWestside also came in with a little tier 1 for 5 months. I appreciate that.
Cheeky tier 1. Huh?
Cheeky little tier 1.
Okay. Cheeky little tier 1. Okay. All right.
Doesn't matter what tier it is. They're all good. They're all cheeky and good.
Yeah, cheeky little tier 1. Oh, not bad. Cheeky little primes over there.
A cheeky little prime sub.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Shall we do some Q&A stuff?
Yeah. Or if you guys have anything you want us to talk about or whatever, just hang out with you guys.
Yeah. So that was a question
Daily
here
Hab
from Rumi.
yeah, go for it. If you put him in the thing and I'll push the button.
Yeah. Mine's there. We can start adding them to the queue as well.
Right. God, I can't wait to have my second computer as well. It's so hard to have one How do you guys live with one monitor? Like people just with one monitor. You guys are freaks.
3 is not enough.
Yeah, actually 3 is not enough sometimes. Yeah. I try to sometimes when I'm like, I need more than 3 monitors. And then I'm like, but come on. But also I do need more than 3. It's insane. All right. So I think I saw one in there. So I'm going to push the button. So Rumi asked, wait. Oh, you put it in the wrong.
Ooh. Oh, wrong one. My bad. Let me fix that.
And don't cut.
I think it's
another really fun bug. Not a bug. It's just Sheets. When you cut and paste, it messes up the references for some reason, which I don't understand how that's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you call your font?
My font's name is Jixel. Jixel. Jace Pixel. Basically. It's Jixel. I don't know if there's another font called that or not. And if there is, we're going to have to change the name, I guess.
No, we're going to have to fight. We'll sue.
Yeah.
We'll sue.
We'll fight them in a cage match, you know? Yeah.
It's cute. It's really cool when you put it in Resolve or whatever and you just see it in the list of or in the list of fonts.
Yeah, I like it.
Did you have a queue or?
Yeah, so on the right hand side. So not the one that says chatter holy shit and colon. That's a colon. Smells like my colon.
Yeah, I wonder who put that there.
Yeah. Now this was like an extreme test case, by the way.
Sure,
stuff work.
whatever you want to.
I did some
Whatever
crazy
makes you
sheets programming,
sleep at
folks.
night, dude. But yeah, can you talk about your daily habits or daily how much time you manage to get working at your games? Mine is very sporadic. I'm a bit annoyed that I don't have like a proper like schedule yet for my stuff, because sometimes I get very caught up in like side projects or freelance work. And June in particular was insane with freelance work for me. I didn't have time to stream even because for some reason I said yes to everything. It's freelance work to me is a bit I'm still trying to like navigate this and like navigating being freelance or whatever, because I remember being like, when I worked as a photographer, it's like as soon as you start saying no to things, people stop like reaching out to you and you have to like chase them up. And I used to do this like freelance thing with photography, and I hated it. I didn't hate the work as a photographer. Like I love doing photography. I love doing the like when you're doing retouches and sending it off to clients and all that stuff. All that stuff is fun. But like 80% of the work is finding work and like navigating like how much do I cost? Like what are my...
Which is not the thing that you wanted to do.
No.
Because you wanted to do the video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I stopped doing it. I was just so frustrated over like how much work goes into getting work, and it's not as bad with game dev. I feel like, because it's a lot easier to. I also know more of my value, I guess, from doing it now. When I started off as a photographer, I was like a fresh new photographer. I didn't know how the industry worked at all. I didn't know what people expected of a photographer. All that stuff. So I had to navigate all that. And with game dev, at least I have like 12 years or whatever that means of experience.
One moment. So there's people are saying that the pin cards get hidden. So these cards here, they get hidden by the closed captions. Is there any way that they can move it? Could you grab the browser source and just bump it up a little?
Sure can. Just okay. So are you not using the what's it called? I CC thing. All right. No, I can do that. It's no big deal.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Just maybe we can get a quick, immediate solution for folks.
Is this fine? Is this high enough?
Maybe. I can't see the problem, but
we'll do this when if people shout it out again.
Yep.
Just center it. Or something. Okay, wasn't it?
Sorry.
Yep. So yeah, I don't have any habits right now. I just like. I work on my game when I have time to work on my game, basically. And I wish I could say like this much, because I'm very off and on. Like like when we worked on this, I got so hooked on it, and I was just like, I just want to solve problems. So I didn't work on my game at all for like a week or something when we started working on this, and I was up at like until 4 a.m. just like hacking away on the web server to manage all this shit. And some days I'm working on my game and then I'm grinding it.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place for me.
Yeah. My schedule is, so typically my schedule is wake up at 8 and start working on my game till noon. And then in the afternoon at like 1 or 2, I go to Nuggets and I work there on Among the Wild for a couple hours, for like 3 hours or something like that. And then I relax. That's the schedule as it is written in stone. Now, what actually happens, okay, is a different story. It depends on what it needs to be done. So sometimes there's like additional content stuff that I need to start working on. Sometimes I have to script some stuff, editing stuff, or sometimes I run into bugs that are holding me back and I need to like get them done because sometimes content depends on it. Yeah, sort of these sort of things. So like the plan kind of deviates from there. But one thing that I've learned is having a strict schedule that I can build a routine around is immensely good for my productivity and my enjoyment of the journey, right? Of my mood and my mental health. So to the best of my ability, all of my energy is put into achieving that routine, but I don't get it. But sometimes I'm like 80% of the way there, or good weeks are 90% of the way there. And that's okay, right? At least it's not 0% of the way there. So that's kind of just how I tackle things. So on top, that's my during the week. Now on Wednesdays, we also have these streams. So going to be doing these in the evenings. And then on Saturdays, I do 6-hour streams. And so there's a little bit of stuff that I do before and after that. I also have to fit in, all the businessy side of stuff and tax side of stuff that I have to like do in there somewhere as well. And then Sundays are my day off where I can hopefully focus a little bit more on housework. So it's not much of a day off, but I usually end up doing some other work on Sundays too. Usually it's maybe scripting stuff like videos or trying to get thumbnails sorted or something like that while I chill. Yeah. So quite busy. Yeah. There's many, many, many weeks where I don't get a day off sometimes, which sucks. But yeah, like, it just is what it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, I wish I could be a bit better, but yeah.
It is, and I have to say, having a schedule and like having a routine is so fucking important. It's it's such a I can notice on my quality of life when I have routine in, like when I actually wake up in the morning and like get up and work on something for X amount of hours that is sort of predetermined, and then finish off at like a normal work day. It is like your quality of life just goes up so much those weeks. It's so clear. And I haven't done that in a couple of weeks now, so I need to. I actually probably will take one day off this week, I think. Just chill.
Last week I had a bit of vacay, which was pretty nice. So I didn't do a lot of Nugget stuff, but there was a couple of days I didn't do anything. But then I did extra time on my game, which was very fun. Yeah, like. Working on my game is a treat. It really is. It's like the best. It's my favorite activity, actually, is to work on my game. So, yeah.
All right. I'll grab the next little thing here.
Yep. Dude, totally cut and paste it.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm just saying you should totally do it. No, please don't. Yeah, don't do it. Please don't do it.
Because, like, there's no way to roll back. You can work on something together. We're literally doing it right now. I guess you mean, like, games or something.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think that like it would be really fun if you and I did like a jam or something like that together. But the only problem with jams is like they are a lot of energy.
Yes,
they are like massive. In my opinion, they are for me anyway. I'll speak for myself. They're massive, like mana drains.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm super down to do it. I think it would be fun. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I think there's a lot of content we could do around it. But yeah, like I think we just have to think of like, all right, well, when would that make sense? When
and there needs to be a buffer around it too, because last time
it has to be.
Yeah, last time I did a jam, it was one of those. It was pretty chill. It was actually me and Dylan. We went too hard. Like. We did one of those like 2-day jams, 48-hour. Those are. I don't think I'd ever do a 48-hour again. I've done it a couple of times before. That's actually like my first game ever was a 48-hour. And the thing that annoys me so much is the first game that I ever made or finished was that was Ludum Dare, and that was so smooth. Like I didn't work nonstop. I had like. Went on walks and like I chilled and while I was walking I was like this could be cool to do and I was really happy with the result, and I've never been able to reproduce that. I've been super this isn't good. Like I just felt like I never nailed it quite as well as the first time I ever did it, and I think it's partly because you know what you can do now, so you get overly ambitious. Even this is a frustrating thing. When I didn't know what I could do, that's when I had like the best level. Because everything was like a pleasant surprise to me, and I just like did what I could. And now it's like making a menu system isn't that hard because I've done it so many times. And then I spending too much time on a menu system, and it's like, but I'd be down to do something like that. I think that could be fun. We just got to figure out.
I think it could be fun.
Just got to figure out like a good way to do it, and make it not become a full-on thing. It might be that we have to like decide the rules ourselves and like figure out a date ourselves, because it's the same thing. Like if you want to like nail it with Ludum Dare, then suddenly like, oh, that date has to work. And
yeah. And the other thing is like one other thing is that I think I'd probably want to put restrictions on like crunching the shit out of it. Like I don't
Yeah,
want to do,
exactly.
where you go all night or whatever. Like it's too much. Yeah. But I think there's a way to do it for sure. Just to follow up on this one, there's like make some music together. That's another suggestion. That could be fun. Snutt is more of a musician than I am, but I think I'd love to do some fun stuff with you. So
one of my favorite parts of just working together is when you both like sort of complement and add something together. That's something you really miss as a solo developer, because you are the sole responsibility of making sure that everything gets made. That's the one thing I miss of working on team is like, when you have down slopes or whatever, someone else will commit something like, oh cool, you made this thing. Oh wow, you see progress happening on the project we're working on.
There's a lot of like offloading like mental weight, right? Because sometimes like if you're drained and you're like, shit, where the hell do I go? But you see someone else going somewhere, you're like, yes, we're going that way. Okay, cool. Like someone else is doing a little bit of thinking for me. This feels good. Yeah.
All right. So the next one, it's sort of same topic almost. It's like have both of you are wanting to consider outsourcing the graphics or audio. And
I'll take this one first, maybe. So I have. So the two things I've thought of outsourcing would be specifically those two things, graphics and audio. But I don't know yet. So right now, because of like, as I described earlier in the stream, I don't really know like what's going to like, is my game even going to finish? I'm not sure. So it's really hard to like rope people in at this point. When I want to get like most of the stuff kind of done, at least prototype art, prototype sounds maybe in. And then when I'm at a point where I'm like, all right, I'm definitely doing this, then it's going to be a bit easier to get other people involved to help with those things if need be. So I think that when it comes to audio, I'm very sure I'm going to get someone involved. When it comes to art, I'm not actually sure yet. I'm not the greatest pixel artist. I started learning when I started working on my game. I'm still really slow at it. There's a lot of things I need to learn. I can't really be super intentional with my art yet. But at the same time, I know that there could be some charm to my style of pixel art, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's just consistent and it's my style and the game is complete, like it could be that it might just work out well, So that's a decision that I haven't really landed on just yet. But there is another option that I have, is that like there's some folks that I could potentially maybe just like consult with a little bit to help. They can help direct me a little, but I still do the work, if that makes sense. There are people who are more experienced who can give me feedback or something like that. So there's a few different paths for me in that regard.
And I feel like it's way too soon for me to say anything like that, because I'm still prototyping. I guess we didn't talk about this before, but like we're in very different stages of development. I'm not even sure if you would consider do you consider yourself being production now, or are you still sort of in the pre-prod, or is it like all over the place for you? Like, how would you define?
Yeah, it's a little bit everywhere. I mean, it's effectively production. I'm making the game. I'm making my game. But it's also not exactly as though every letter of my game has been spelled out yet, right? And I guess no game is really ever at that point, right? But like I'm quite clear on what I'm doing. It's just I got to do the things, and so I'm just doing things. So there's some systems that are still left that I need to create, and I work on those. But at the same time, I'm also creating like actual content as well. There's not that much of it yet, but like I am working on it. And as I do that, I learn, there's more systems stuff or more tweaks that need to be made. And then things become a little bit more robust and I can make more things.
Because a lot of people I think are a little bit surprised maybe that game dev is a bit more waterfall model than I think most software today is like sort of agile and develop. And games sort of still to some degree follow the waterfall model. I think it's a bit too big of a topic to dissect that specifically now, but like when we talk about like production or whatever, like the different stages, production is usually when you just grind, sort of what you're making, but you're just grinding it out. You can still figure things out on the way and change it or whatever. That still happens a lot. But yeah. Let me jump over to the next one. And I can start reading it, actually. I don't need to wait for this. So are you willing to rip everything and rewrite if you realize you've gone down the wrong way? I sometimes find that that's the case where the sunk costs just overwhelm. That is a good question, and that definitely happens sometimes for games. I can't say I've gotten that far yet to be able to say that has happened to me, but maybe. How do you feel? Has this happened to you?
So that's not happening with my game. Like it's either my game works or like there's right. But there are parts, right? There are parts of the game that like if certain systems aren't working super well, like I do refactor certain things on the regular. Like people always heard of the technical debt thing. It's like as you work on stuff, you accrue debt because things become more and more complicated or complex. And so I often keep an eye on that stuff as much as I can, and I try and address it. It's just, to me, it's just like a cleansing thing. I go through and make sure things are neat and okay. And, there's shit everywhere, so I need to do that, fairly often. But generally speaking, I haven't really run into anything that requires any large rewrites in my game. And as for whether or not my game will be a different game, it won't be. It's going to be the game that I'm going for. And if that turns out to be a bad game, that it's a bad game. Like that's just what it is. That's what I made. But that's what I'm committing to. There's no going back on that in my case. Yeah.
And I think it's, for me, it might happen because my idea is more loose and goose. I haven't because I feel like you've spent a lot more time doing pre-prod and like sitting down and like, okay, writing out what you want to make and like thinking it out, more thoroughly. I'm more of like I'm going to vibe and just like, I know what the basis of it is.
Yep.
And I also give myself a lot of room to experiment. And I think the type of game that I'm making, I think will be better because of that. I don't think I should sit down and like figure everything out for my game specifically.
Yep.
So I can see myself happening. I can see that happening for me, but it hasn't happened yet because it's still so like early on in production for me.
Yeah. This is actually something that like I would say like my like personality wise, I'm not that great at. Like I'm generally I like to know what's happening ahead of me before I do stuff, right? For better and for worse, absolutely, right? But something that's been really great, like working part time with the Nuggets team, is that the Nuggets team are a little more off the cuff, a little bit more. They sort of like they go with the flow a little more, and I think it's been really helpful for me to be in that environment because I learn those traits from them. That rubs off onto me, and I think that it has helped me so much in my game. And I think I'm still the same person. I haven't changed like that. Needing to structure things is still in me, so I still bring that to them. But like working along with that team has helped me kind of like embrace that kind of like YOLO, go with the flow a little bit more as well. And there's value to each. I think having both tools is the best way to go.
I think this is also a funny like difference between you and I, because you are definitely when we prepare for this stream, for instance, you were more like, let's figure out an agenda. Like I just want to like figure out what we're doing. Like I don't want to go in. And I'm like, fucking YOLO, dude. Like I would figure it out. But I think
this is how it was when we worked together as well. Like I'm like this thing and then this thing and then this thing, and you're just like, yep. And I'm just like, does he care? I don't even know. But like, it's because you could just roll with everything.
But
I think that's where the compliment works too, though, right? Because the sweet spot is somewhere in between.
But I definitely know why I'm like that, because I studied music and I went to upper secondary school and I studied music, and I took a lot of improvisational classes, and that's all about like going on stage and fucking up and like embracing that you don't know, like it's not gonna go your way, like you're gonna mess up, you're gonna like completely goof it, and like to become a really good improvisationalist you have to be okay with doing really shitty performances, and like because otherwise you won't dare to like do the and I've just and this is something that I've discussed with my therapist too, because I did that so much. It's a very typical like when human psyche is that you obviously don't want to feel the pressure of like being pointed out that like, oh, you did something wrong, or like you don't want to speak out unless you know that this is true or whatever. And I don't have that like barrier because I've completely broken that when I was doing that. So I've just overcome that part, and it's like for good and bad, like you say. Sometimes I'm a bit too YOLO. It's like I should sit down and actually think things through because there's a bit of a balance there. But And like you say, like that's why it's so nice that we sort of like find the balance here, and able to have these moments.
It's really interesting because because we work together and like in a way we were forced to find that balance, you know, because we were a team for years, you know, so it's like one way or another you got to make it work. And not that it was hard to make it work, but you know, we had to, I had to learn you had to learn me. And
I mean, it's not like it was totally frictionless. There's definitely been moments, but I think that those frictions have been very fulfilling, and it's not like it's not that it actually is friction.
There've been minor yeah.
All right. How do you guys get into game dev, and how do you learn what the shit you're doing? That's a big question. How long do you have to have?
Yeah, I mean the short answer for me, I mean it's a whole story. I think everyone has a journey,
Actually,
right?
it's on my YouTube channel. Maybe. Do you think that's still up to date? It's the interview I did with you, actually.
Oh, that's true. That's probably there. And there's another video on my YouTube channel that's very old that has it as well. Yeah. So, but the TLDR for now is I was just doing some random kind of dead end jobs, and I had like no aim in life, basically. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And then I decided to enroll into a game development course because I love playing games. And I was like, maybe I'll make them. So I started studying games in Australia. Graduated that, went to university, graduated there. The first thing was like a tech college. And then all the jobs in Australia were shutting down. So as part of my university degree, I also studied abroad in Japan. So I went there for a while and I came back. And then after that, looking for work, couldn't get any work. I did some software development work. But I wanted to do games more than anything. So then I was like, forget it. I'm selling everything I have. I'm quitting my job. I'm giving up everything. And I'm going to go to Japan where there are jobs there. And I've been there before and I loved it there. And I'm just going to see how it goes. And so I went there with a suitcase and that was it. I sold everything. And I had like 4 or 5 nights booked in like this motel. Yeah. And I had nothing, no job, nothing. I was on a working holiday visa. So I was allowed to get a job, but I had nothing. One thing led to another. I ended up getting another programming job, and not in games, but that got me connected with some people that ended up getting me an interview at a game company. And then I eventually got into the industry. That's the story. Yeah. Then eventually I came to Sweden. Yeah.
And mine is that I never pursued games.
Good one.
I was always told that like, oh, making games is like so hard and you need to have so much technical knowledge and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, I guess that's true. But then when I was in university, I was studying computer programming. I was really interested in computer graphics specifically. So I started getting interested in like that. And I started getting into like game architecture, like game engine architecture. So as a side project, I made my own game engine in OpenGL. And I did that. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I saw a Facebook like post or ad or whatever that was like, hey, we're looking for people who are interested in like working on like little projects. And it was posted on like a game dev subforum on Facebook. That's sort of like a, you know, people who are aspiring game developers sort of usually frequent. So I thought it was like a student project. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll just give this a go and see what happens. And it was like, yeah, come to this address. It's like, okay, I thought it was someone's home address. This was a fucking company. and I had an interview with them and we just chatted about nerdy shit about OpenGL and that shit. And because the person who was supposed to interview me wasn't there. So I had an interview with the programmers. And apparently they were like, oh, this guy's great. So they just hired me. And I was like, but I'm still in school. So I dropped out of university and
not for long. You're not.
So I dropped out of my master's and pursued working at this game dev company. I worked there for like 6 years, and then I worked at Coffee Stain. I've only had 2 formal like employments as a game developer, and 12 years later, here we are, on a fucking whim.
Damn. Yeah. Still remember your interview at Coffee Stain?
Yeah, because I found out about the job. Yeah, dude, that was so funny, by the way. Jace was, because I knew Jace before Coffee Stain. Like, we've talked, I actually don't remember how Yeah,
it's just, we were just hurling tweets at each other.
Yeah, somehow we find each other on Twitter and we hurling tweet each other. Yeah. And I found Jace
Because I was doing community management before you even joined.
Yeah,
the
because
company,
you
right?
just became a community manager, I think, or you were announced when.
I was announced. I think I was doing some
Because I
as
think
well.
were you? I can't remember if you were announced when I started interviewing, or I think it was just about that time. I think you were just had announced. No, I remember now. It was your second video you ever made, because you made that like day of a life of a programmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how. Right before that, you tweeted something about like we're looking for a programmer, and then you posted that video. So that's how I found out. And I was like, oh, I kind of just want to talk to these people. I'm not actually interested in the job because it's in Skövde but it's Unreal Engine, and I just want to chat with you all. And you were working there, so it would be a fun like excuse to hang out with you for a bit. And then yeah, I ended up getting that job. And during the interview, we're sitting in our old office, and there's there's a conference room, and there's a open glass window, and then there's the entire office in the background. And I was sitting with my back to the wall, so I saw the entire office, and the people who interviewed me sat opposite to me, right? So they could see me and the wall. So Jace creeps up behind those two.
Creeps up.
And pulls out a whiteboard and starts writing on it. And I'm like seeing you do this, and I'm like, and keeping the conversation going and like being all cordial and shit. And then you flip the whiteboard around, and it's like, interview too long, you're fucked. And I start laughing, and they're like, "What are you laughing about? This is serious." Not really. And I'm just like pointing at you, and you're like, "What? Run away!" Oh, good times.
Yeah.
All right. We're sort of running out of time here. Maybe we'll do one more here.
We are. Okay.
So what is currently the hardest thing you have done in your games? I want to start with this one because I just finished this. And it's actually one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my entire career, I think. And it's so annoying because it's not really that hard, but it was hard. I just solved I can't really go into specifics because it actually will spoil a couple of things, but I solved like a huge object collision problem that I've been working on for like a month. And I like implement my own collision system outside of Unreal Engines. I've tried so many different avenues and like solving very specific, it has to do with like objects moving and sweeping and like handling collision in a graceful way. So it's not only like a collision problem, which are collision problems in games are really complicated, like physics and that stuff. Just like this problem, the geometrical problem of having two shapes and like asking, are these two intersecting? That's a surprisingly difficult thing to solve when it comes to like convex shapes. If you're doing light traces through them and want to figure out like where are the points meeting, all that shit. Like in certain situations, it's really, really easy. But like when you have so many edge cases and shit, it becomes so complicated so fast. It was harder doing this than implementing the fucking multiplayer to Satisfactory. Like all the rewrites that I did, that was easier than this, and that was a lot of work. And it's also UX because it's a bit like you also want it to feel good while you're handling these use cases. Because sometimes I have like little weird rules that don't really make sense collision wise, but they feel good for the user when they do it. So tackling that problem, both being very technical and also very like user experience wise, was incredibly difficult. And it took me so long. And I actually had to go through so many moments of like, oh, I should actually make this game because this is actually so hard. I might need to pivot because I don't think I can solve this. And then,
yeah, that's scary.
And then eventually I finally, like after the 5th implementation, because I redid it from scratch over and over again. And eventually I managed to get it.
Did you do the thing? Did you have the thing where, you got it working and then you're like, all right, it's working in every single case right now.
So many times.
Let's see if it doesn't work tomorrow.
So many times. There's so many times where at 4 a.m., I'm like, I think I've solved it. I think I got it. Every use case that I've set up, that I figured out, they work. And then the next day I realized I didn't test this, and then fuck. And then, oh, I can't use this implementation anymore because it doesn't work with this at all. Redo it again. So frustrating.
Too real.
And I hope it's fixed for real.
Yep.
What about you?
Hardest thing I've done in my games. In my game, it's kind of weird because like there's been a lot of things that I've really bashed my head against the wall to try and solve, but it's always like hindsight. It's like they weren't too bad, you know. It was usually like me at the limits of my knowledge of Godot engine or something like that, you know. But if you were to ask me to do it again, I'd probably be okay with it. But I would say maybe one of two things. There's my dialogue manager plugin, which I've made. That was pretty good. I'm proud of that. That has like a lot of like, that's probably the hardest thing because there's like a lot of multi-threading that goes on with that.
It's like
for performance
it's like really
reasons.
involved.
It's really involved. And it's just a tool. Like it's not, you don't really see it in the game. It's just text that appears. But it's a tool that like for a game that's narrative heavy, I needed something that would work well with my game, with my cutscene system, which is, that is under the umbrella of my cutscene system, which is a even bigger system. And everything had to play nice. It had to like localize well and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff is probably the hardest stuff that I've worked on. I in fact have to dive back into it and add some additional functionality to it. Not the plugin itself, but the dialogue system this week that I've been putting off a little bit. Today I was looking at it and then I had to help you, and I was partly grateful that I didn't have to deal with it. But tomorrow I'll be working with it again. It's just big. It's just big, and it's a bit scary. And I wrote it a long time ago, and it can be hard to deal with. And yeah, but it's not too bad. It'll be okay.
It'll survive. I also want to say, I also want to add one thing to my thing is like, because you mentioned like, oh, sometimes you work on something that's really hard and you figure out like the solution is actually really simple. That's how I felt when I finished my solution. It's like, oh, actually, this is like, I can't believe I didn't think of this. But the other day I looked back at like what I actually implemented. It's 2,000 lines of code, dude. Mm-hmm. Like it was not a simple solution. Actually, now that I think about it, it just feels simple because I've broken down the problem so many times now that it's like the problem is so clear in my head, which I guess is like part of the process, I guess. But
yeah, I guess. And so that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's when you're just working on stuff, you're working on stuff. And when you work on the same thing for 20 hours, it hurts a little. But
yeah, it's like you're working something for 20 hours and you don't feel like you're making any progress. It's like you just feel like you're,
that's the worst part.
You're stomping in, what's the term? You're in muddy water, stomping around, whatever.
Karaoke music syncing, that was tricky as well. There's a lot of tricky stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
The fishing, I have a fishing mini game in my game, and that was it was so nice to work on. It was like not too bad.
I spent like half a year implementing syncing in games for music games. It's a really fun problem because it's the same thing actually. It's like it's both a technical problem, but it's very user experience driven because like timing, timing is so like it's not because I made a system that's like I could prove that this is on beat, this is on time, this is perfect. I filmed it with like a high-speed camera. You can see on this that it's on speed, and people were still like, "Yeah, but it doesn't feel that it's on." So it's tricky. That's why I think game dev is so interesting because it's not just we need this database to perform this. I need this output, blah blah blah. Because it's a lot of soft problems and it's a lot of hard problems, and I just like that like mesh of the two. Because it feels like sometimes you're not actually solving a real problem. You're solving a fake problem, but it's a very real problem for the people who are facing the problem in games or whatever. And that process is very interesting.
But it's also a nice variety of problems and challenges too. You know, if you do the same kind of thing for too long, for me anyway, I get really bored or frustrated. And so the fact that you get these different soft and hard problems, and the fact that it all builds to something like really tangible is something that I love about games. Like my joke is that like I get to make explosions. I actually don't make a lot of explosions, but like it's that kind of thing, you know. It's like I get to make these immediate things, or I get feedback from people if things are working better.
I do need to make explosions to my game now that I think about it. Actually,
explosions confirmed.
Yeah,
look out.
That's one nice thing with Unreal Engine is like the VFX system is it's very complicated, but also you can make really cool stuff with it. And when you've finished, it's like very satisfying.
Yeah.
All right. How you feeling?
Yeah. Pretty good. There's one question, maybe can do it quickly, which was this one here. Yep. Because I think I can answer that one. I don't know if you're probably not at the stage to do this one, I'm sure think. But it's from Gerald. Would you be willing to release any of your subsystems as open source projects or just quick off-code snippets? Dialogue editor, see-through building shaders, jukebox minigames. So the things that they're referring to there are features that are in my game. So me personally, I don't think I mind too much about sharing that. I mean, like when I'm streaming, you can see my code, like, because I do dev streams sometimes, right? So it's I don't really care if people copy how I do stuff or whatever. It's usually more that, like, even if I were to release the code, and even if I say it's just as is, it's just a code snippet, it's not supposed to work with your stuff. If I release that, there's no doubt going to be, I think, a lot of folks who's going to take it and say, hey, can you help me with this? Or how do I get that to work with whatever, which I understand. That's fine. But I don't have the time to help right now. That's the main thing. So that's one part of it that I one reason why I don't really release anything. Yeah, that's kind of it for now. But I have thought about specifically like my dialogue system or cutscene system. I have thought quite a lot about, like, I should make this something that, like, this could be something that I give out to people, right? Like I could package it so that people can use it. And to me, that is more interesting in my mind than anything. But it would require a lot more work, and it is just not at the priority list, right? When I have my game to make, I'm going to be making my game over making my dialogue system usable by anyone. So who knows? It could be a thing down the line. I'm not opposed to it, but
there are definitely different degrees of, because I agree with you. It's like, it's hard to, obviously I could just take my code and just release it, but there's always some expectancy of, like, what's the word here? Like making sure that it makes sense for people and that, like, it is actually usable, and it's not just like, here, figure it out. You know, sometimes you actually do need to do some sort of support for it, even though it's like as if. So it kind of depends. But it's like I can think of a couple of times when this makes sense to do. Like you say, like if you make like a tool or something, you know, obviously a tool that you made for your game might, you know, it's something that no one else will be able to use, but it can be useful. Valve has released a bunch of tools, like they've released their level editor. That's been super helpful for a lot of people, but they obviously put time into like packaging that and making sure that like it's in a good state for people to use. And like you say, like it's hard to rationalize that time sometimes. And sometimes developers have released things as if, and it's been really helpful just as is. Like one thing I can think.
Others maybe pick it up, right? As well.
Or the one that I'm thinking of is, so the developers of CEST, they released their entire player controller. So it's just one C# file with just the player controller, which obviously doesn't make sense because it's like calling functions that are part of the other game. But it's been really useful for like the speedrunning community, for instance, because they get to see the code and be like, oh, this is how the jump like logic works exactly, like this is how the code works, so they are able to like dissect it. And like other developers are also able to look at like, oh, this is a platformer, and they spend so much time on the player controller, and the player controller class is like, I don't remember how big it was, but it was pretty small, all things considered, like given how complex that game is in movement wise. And it's just like interesting to see, just like you can tell the amount of work that went into making sure that it was this small and like this condensed and still have all this like breadth. And that's as is, and like that's really cool. So it's very dependent on, you know, what it is that you're releasing, I would say. Yeah, maybe when the game's done, as Slinky Beast is saying, maybe go back, clean it up. Yeah. Potentially. If it makes sense.
All right.
Yep.
What do you say?
Good
buddy?
times were had by all, hopefully. And hopefully things were sort of in sync.
Honestly, I think it was towards the end. Like, I mean, if I
have peeked in the program, and it looked like it stabilized at some points.
You know what? I think there might be something about browser sources that are doing stuff, because it was chat. That was when it was moving quicker. I think things started desyncing more. So maybe cutting one of the chats out could be nice. Some things like that. Like, it might. We could talk about it later, of course. Though.
I wonder. This is stuff that we're gonna have to like figure out as we go along, and we might try different solutions, and some of them might work and some of them might not. Also, now that we're streaming, I'm also doing everything on one computer. The usual setup, I will have 2 computers to offload it. So it might be that we actually need to run, it's a little bit behind the scenes here, but it might be that we need to move, I need to move some of the weight between the computers to make sure that's not the cause of the desync or whatever.
Yep. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Look, it was decent. It was pretty decent. I think it was pretty good.
We'll see how many come back.
Yeah.
That's the qualifier.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
I mean, we'll come back. Jace and I will be back. We'll be back again next week for sure. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this. It is. There's been so many times when we've had conversations where I'm like, this could be really good content. Not that I want to like farm our, our interactions or whatever, but it's just like, I think we have a lot of like interesting discussions sometimes. And
yeah, I think so. I think we play off each other really well. Speaking of playing off each other really well, maybe we could do the. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm springing this on you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I like improvising.
Do you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I don't. I know exactly what you're thinking.
What? This is insane. I didn't even say. See, this is what I mean. We're on the same wavelength. I didn't say anything. No one knows. Do we say anything at all, or do we just start?
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow,
I
will
try
and
be
large
and
sweaty.
So
you
can
eat
my
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming to the first episode of State of Dev. Be sure to check in next week. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, wait, maybe is it our mics? Oh, no. Cut the mic.